Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Thursday, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco, coming to you from a wet but not so cold southern Connecticut, getting ready for an ice storm tomorrow. How fabulous is that?
Wow.
Cannot wait to lose power because that's usually what happens. So, who am I? I am my business is Line Yourself Inc. I am a teacher, speaker, coach. I do coaching and workshops with that are mindfulness centered, specializing in transformation. And I work specifically these days with women 35 and over who are, I don't know, in toxic relationship, narcissistic relationships, having to start over, all that kind of fun stuff where they are like, what the hell just happened? And I'm also a chiropractor and an author. So welcome.
Good morning. That was also, it's raining over there?
It's not raining currently, but it looks like it had rained, and it's supposed to rain though. All day today it's supposed to rain, and then tomorrow it's supposed to switch to ice overnight.
It's going to be 85 over here today. Anywho, let's start over. Hello, mi gente. I am La Margarita, your gladiator guru. I am the creator of Cricket's Whispers LLC, which is the reminder for the women when they're all overworked to silence the noise in their head and listen to the whisper of hope. I am the founder of Naturally Orgasmic Cafe Company, coming to you right next week. There you go. That's all I've been drinking. Some more. I am a spiritual coach, a sacred healer. I am an anti-doula. I am a writer, an artist, an author. I am your magically orgasmic Puerto Rican spice, La Margarita,
Oh,
known as
nice.
the gladiator guru. What's up?
Puerto Rican spice. She
Yes,
is spicy.
yes,
There's no question.
yes, I am.
That would be a good topic for a show. If you could if you could be a spice, what spice would you be? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, yeah. I ain't saucy.
You're a mix though. It depends on, it depends on the day.
Yeah, I
Right?
can
You're
be
like
cayenne pepper.
but it depends on the day for you. Like, you know how like you're the a master chef's cuisine. So like one day it's this and one day it's that, and whatever it is, it's always flavorful.
Yeah.
I have my bland moments. Sometimes I'm like a diabetic meal. Very
Oh,
bland, no sugar.
I love your authenticity.
That's being nice for, yeah, you could be boring sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, if you can say it, I can smile it. So, but
Right.
yeah, I didn't want to. I was so tired this morning. I don't know why. I went to bed fairly early for me. It was like, by the time I got out the shower, it was like 12:30. Um, and then I kept hitting snooze. And then I was like, shit, Viva.
Ah, the snooze button.
I knew I had to get up, but it's like, when you're in that mode, you think it's a Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why it was. And then I got sad because, you know, I love doing this and I love the people who come on and
Yes.
I hope many come on today. We got Byron coming on today and he's just awesome in himself. And and then you think when you personally know people that can honestly tell you, I can't watch your show, Margie, because it's too true and I'm not ready to face that reality in my life right now. Now that's sad. It's sad, but I also tell them how empowering that was to even admit to me that they don't watch my show because the topics hit too close to home and they don't want to acknowledge it so that they don't have to feel. So
Yeah.
I tried to turn it around, and as sad as it can be, because it was also empowering that they can actually say that out loud without any like embarrassment or anything, just as a fact. And that I think when you can speak with such a factual tone, then you're more about to go over that hump in your life than you realize. You're not at the bottom being embarrassed and shy and keeping to yourself and not saying nothing or just avoiding people in general. You're actually saying, no, I can't watch it. Why? Because it's, you know, I'm not ready to change that part of my life. I'm not ready to heal that part of my soul. But the fact that they're saying I'm not ready means that they're at the halfway point. So good morning, mi gente. Oh, good morning.
Yes, we have a lot of shout outs to do. So let's see. Good morning, Kathy Ruiz, Milagros, Tiffany, Nancy Green, Bernie, my girl in the house, the bitch that would shank somebody for me. That's my friend. Liza's in the house. Chenille, real deal. She got her next set of books. These books, by the way. So
yes.
she is whipping out. She's selling her books. Nina Perez, good morning. Her show, Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. We're so happy that you are here, and please check out her show on YouTube. And let's see, anybody else that's coming on? So share. Mi gentes, right? I'm going to use your term. Share. Remember, like, let everybody know that we are on. Let's get those numbers up. Let's get everybody on, because this is some good shit today, just like Tuesday's show was. Today is further about relationships. And when we're talking about toxic relationships, it does not need to be a significant other. It could be a toxic relationship with a family member, like a parent, a sibling. Just because you're older doesn't mean your old parents still can't be toxic. Or your older siblings. It's about toxic bosses, you name it. And like you did on Tuesday, you shared about your experiences. And it's really, really important for that, because it adds to people understanding what it's like. You know, we are definitely more geared, you know, we have a higher female base, you know, so it is more common for us to talk about male narcissists, male toxic relationships to female. But we had Jonathan on, our boy Jonathan, and he was talking about how serious his toxic narcissistic relationship was with a former girlfriend. So this shit's real, and it needs to be talked about because of this whole issue with being at home more often. It's come to light. We've seen a lot more abuse go up, physical, but it's the abuse that you don't see. It's the mental and emotional abuse that does not leave outside physical scars, but shit, does it leave some deep, festering, nasty internal wounds that people don't see. And I do want to point out something. So I'm going to give myself a shout out. I have a free webinar. I posted it. It's in the chat. You can click on it and register. It's free. Next Thursday, 8 p.m. And I will be broadcasting from Costa Rica. But hopefully, if everybody passes their COVID test. But it's on, Are You Living with a Narcissist? So it's going to be talking about the behaviors. It's going to be talking about how the individual's feeling narcissistic abuse syndrome and what you can do for yourself. So check it out. I'll post it again. Click on it. It's free. Share it with anybody you know that might need it.
That's awesome.
And I'm done talking.
That's awesome. That was great. Costa Rica, you have to do something in Costa Rica. I don't care if you're skinny dipping, just take it. You know, for those who came on my Moments con Margarita Tuesday evening, thank you. I appreciate that. I have a question, which you know is always my question. I've always worked with women since I started public speaking. Wow, Carmen, if Carmen was on, she can tell you.
Decades
Back in
ago.
98, I always spoke in the Women of Color Caucus in Hartford and Farmington. I spoke at domestic violence shelters spread out through Southern Connecticut, safe houses for the rape victims. So it's always been about waking up the women. So I want to ask you, Badass, with this narcissistic tendencies and how to identify their behaviors and how to realize you're in one. And then that's one part. But how does one who is not strong in spirit, strong in mind, can identify and even make a decision that I'm out or I need to get out?
You know what? That's a really good question, because narcissists twist you so much that you just so second guess yourself. You know, do this, okay? Like, if you get a moment by yourself away from the toxicity, the narcissist, even if you're in your own house, but they're not there, or if it's a boss or something like that, get like by yourself and just close your eyes and really feel it in your gut. Like, because our intuition is so great and we never really give it enough credit. And if you sit for a moment and just ask yourself, does this feel right? Is this a healthy relationship? Is this is it okay the way the individual's speaking to me? Is it, and be careful about asking yourself, because when when you have low self-esteem, you'll sit there and go, well, I must have deserved it, that kind of stuff. That's self-talk. But listen to the gut. Like, if you're waking up with stomach aches and I mean, that's it. It's like, if you're I have a sheet here that if you wake up with any of these things, like feeling not good enough, self-doubt, second guessing, chronically apologizing, confusing, if they confuse you, and you feel like you're always losing your mind when you have a conversation with these individuals, they're not listening and they get real adamant about what they want and they get their way all the time. They're like spoiled children. They're like a toddler, if you feel helpless or hopeless, sad or depressed, you feel anxious or worried, unsettled, you don't want to do anything that you used to do before, even before the person you're with, or the boss or whatever, that you're not wanting to do it anymore. Feeling shame, and then mental and emotional exhaustion, especially the exhaustion piece. The exhaustion piece has been coming out. A lot of people are exhausted. Doesn't necessarily mean they're in a narcissistic relationship, but you have to check in with yourself. You've been exhausted for a while. If you're not sleeping well, you have to check in with that. And so if any of those questions, if you're answering yes to any of those questions, or yeah, I feel that, then the hardest step that you have to do is the fact that you became aware of it is one. But then the next one is you got to reach out to people. And that's the tricky part, because narcissists are really good at making their persona a certain way to other people, or convincing you that they're okay. I'll give you a quick example, and then we have to do, I don't want to forget to do our intention or our mantra. But I was with people, I was in relationships with men that would outwardly flirt, practically like give their number out right in front of me to other women. And they convinced me that that was okay. And they convinced me, like, and the flirting was so disgusting, flirting, like ridiculous, that I would feel uncomfortable, but I would just joke it off, because I was convinced by the individual. I allowed myself to be convinced, but nonetheless. So, but anyway, yeah. I don't know if that helped. Did I answer your question, Gladiator?
It helped. Okay. It helped to where the piece that I want to hear is how women can build their armor, because a narcissist is going to be you're going to meet one in every
Yeah, you
3.
always beat them. They're
But
everywhere.
I don't want. I want that woman to be able to grow in her strength, to wear her courage out, and identify whether she's with him or not. But that's so I love that you're speaking on narcissism. I want to offer a free coaching to anyone who wants to learn how to feed their spirit, nurture their ego, and love their body. I think for women, and I love that you're now saying you're working with women 35 and over. That is so empowering. Since the first day you said that, what was it, several weeks ago, a couple months ago. I love that, because we need more empowered women. Your story is specifically more empowering because you were that doormat, and you saw and you felt and you experienced everything a narcissist can possibly do. And when you speak on it, with so much strength and force behind it that is very consoling to those who are in it right now. Um, so I think I love these conversations, and us working here together, like you speaking on that part and me on the other. And then we're gonna have Byron, who is very special on today. And so, did you see what Kathy wrote? That I had an incredible healing experience after the last Live Tuesday. Thank you both so much. I am doing so much healing for myself and my ancestors.
That's beautiful.
That's key.
That's what we want.
In today's healing mechanism, everything is your mind. Sit down, control your mind shifting, and it's all about spirit. And spirit is all about energy, and energy is all about the road our ancestors paved for our lineage, and the legacies that we're gonna pave for our generations going forward. And if you keep that in mind, then you can go back and with ease and learn your ancestors and the ones who came before you. And if you can't go back that far, start with your grandmother. Mine was the feisty little 5 foot talking shit grandma from Puerto Rico. And you know what?
Geez, I wonder who you take after.
And that's how you gain or you empower yourself with that energy that already exists. And then you move forward. So what do? Learn who you're with, but first of all, strengthen who you are.
Absolutely. Yes.
When you learn who the fuck you're with, a narcissist asshole, you can do something about it. Because you can learn all about narcissists all you want. And if you're still weak in the soul, if your mind, your body, and your soul are not aligning with your spirit, guess what happens? Nada. You're gonna know who he is inside and out, and you're gonna still stay there and take the mental, emotional abuse that he's giving.
Yes. And so what you're getting at is that, like, it's not easy to do it alone. Like these wounds could go on for years. They'll reopen. And if you don't get away from where you are and the people, I mean, I run into people all the time that talk about how they've had to literally disown family members because it was too toxic, you know? Hey, Michelle's here. Good. But you can't do it by yourself, you know? And so we are both coaches. I mean, we both work with women. We work with women who have been in toxic relationships, or it's just their life hit the fan, you know, for whatever. It was either a relationship or something else. We work differently, but in the end, it's the same result. So you have to find your tribe. So here's your tribe. You have to find supportive people that are going to listen to you and believe what you are saying. When you tell them this is the way this individual acts towards me, and they hear you and they help you and they listen, and then they offer you real useful advice, not, well, you know, you're married and, you know, for better or for worse. Fuck that. Life is way too short. And for better or for who? For not for you. Better for that person and worse for you. Screw that. I waited 30. I went through that shit for 30 years with so many different people, and actually technically longer than that because I have to count a sibling that's like that. So life's too short, you know. So reach out, get help. And today what we're going to do is we're going to continue the conversation because we want you to be aware of the toxicity. We want you to share this information with other people, because if you see it and they don't, which is really common, they have to, you have to give them a hard conversation. So let's spin it, Gladiator Guru. You know, you're talking about what the person could do. Well, what about you, the person who's friends with the individuals in a toxic relationship? Reach out and say it in a very loving, non-judgmental way, but take them out, get them aware of it, plant the seed. And even if they get pissed at you, you planted the seed, and it may germinate and they may realize, oh my God, and welcome them back. Because a lot of times with narcissists, they purposely make their other person like isolated. You know, that's part of their gig. So
wake up. If you can't do it alone, find a tribe that's going to seize your ass up in a state of mind that you are going to become that blacksmith in your life, and you are going to forge forward through the fire because you're worth fighting for. You're worth living. Let's bring Byron up before we finish the conversation.
I know. So let's quickly just do our intention and our mantra, and we'll get Byron's fantastic persona up here because he's absolutely wonderful with what he has to provide to the tribe. And I think Michelle came on, right? Michelle loves Byron. I think that's why Michelle's on today, right? Michelle loves Byron. So
Michelle's like, I'm popping up like slut magic.
Hell yeah. Hello, Byron. Hell yeah. So today's, right, the intention as always now this year, right, from this point forward, The intention for today that you're going to set is to be intentional and
grateful.
Intentional and grateful, even if it's challenging. And our mantra, quickly, we're going to repeat, shout it out as loud as you can. If you're in an area you can't shout it out, then say it to yourself or say it low. You ready? All right. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous. I am spiritually grounded. I am magically orgasmic. And I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it real.
All right. Here we go. You ready? Let's get Byron in the house. There he is. Woo! Last time we saw you, you were in a car. Yeah. You're broadcasting from the car. I think twice.
Do I have to stay in the car all the time?
No,
I don't know. I think I was in Atlanta when you last time. Yeah, I'm in New York today, so
you're all over the place.
It's good.
Look, give a shout out to Byron on the comments. Right? Look how good he looks.
What's up? What's up, Michelle? My girl. Let's go.
See, look. Yeah. Oh my God, Byron.
My girl. Listen. You don't need a lot of friends. You only need one good one. That's what I'm saying. Just one good one. That's all you need in life. Just one. You don't need a lot. Just one.
Look. There we go. That's it. This is what we're talking about.
Look, quality.
Our tribe
versus quantity. Okay.
All day.
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing?
We are doing well. How you doing?
Okay. I'm just busy. I'm not trying to be so busy. I'm too busy. So I'm trying to get
too busy. You reply 2 days later. Talk about, hey girl, what's up, shorty? Like, hello, I don't want to talk to you right now. But yeah, look at Michelle's at it. Ooh.
That's my people. So to stop hating. You know what I'm saying?
I love Michelle's. You know what? I love her excitement, and I love that she's like, whatever. I love Byron.
That's my people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You actually.
Been so busy, Byron. We haven't seen her on this show, and she's there today. So
yes,
because she knows quality. Okay. listen. I gotta say this. When y'all asked me to do this red flag thing, right, on relationships, I was sitting down the other day and I was thinking about it, and I said, "Well, it's so smart of them to ask me to do that." That's it because I have such a good history.
Yes.
No, it was like a trap. I'm so terrible at it. I'm the best person to ask about relationships. I'm terrible at it.
No, but that's what makes it beautiful because you know what not to be in. You know what not to look for. That's why I said on my bio on my website, I actually changed my bio and it says that I'm a narcissist, a former narcissist and asshole super attractor because that's what I attracted like in my life. And so that's what we do is you are a perfect example of you're such a nice individual. You're such a kind-hearted, good person, and you are surrounded by toxicity. And it's not just like people that you've been with. It's right. You've had challenges with your family, you know. And so let's talk about red flags. Let's get right in. What do you?
One thing when talking about the red flags, right? I kind of got thrown off with that because for me, I'm colorblind. So it's, I am. If it's something I like, I don't even see stuff. You know what I'm saying? I kid you not. I'm so bad at it. I'm getting better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm changing my wording. Okay, I'm getting better at it. But the young lady, Gladiator Guru, I need your help. You know what I'm saying? So I'm terrible at it. But one thing I could tell you that I'm gonna run down my list. First of all, when we see somebody, the first thing is the sexual attraction. So but we gotta understand before we even start, we gotta see if our core values kind of line up. And we don't do that because we're so hot and heavy and got the lust thing going on and everything is nice and we want to touch them and they want to be, it's all good. So we don't check if they got fairness in them or they take accountability for themselves. If they take responsibility or even if they're committed, we don't even care about it. We just say, wow, they sexy. So we get past that. That's the number one thing. I think we need to go for the core values and start having that conversation. you know, we could do it after the sex. You know what I'm saying? We just got to get that out the way, you know. Yeah. See, I know you're going to say no, but you know, other folks, I know you're going to say no. You know, Ms. Gladiator Guru. Yeah, you.
I said, yeah. I said, yeah. And we're relaxed. Our limbs, you know, feel really like we just swam, you know, a couple laps, and now we're all like right here, and we can have that talk without fear.
Yeah, and for women and men, you can ask a man anything after that. You know what I'm saying? And he's going. Listen, remember, men ain't
get them while their guards down. Is what you're saying,
listen, men are not as difficult as you think they are. Okay, you know, it don't take much. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, but they'll deny it afterwards, especially if you ask them right at the right moment and you give something and they say anything. They'll go, I didn't know what I was saying.
No. You turn around. You said yes, right? Yeah. On this day, on March 14th, while we're in the bed at 12 o'clock, that's a yes, right?
But you know what I've always done? I'm like, okay, so what you said is blah, 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 blah. I always repeat it.
Right.
And that even no matter, but mostly when it's something that's important. And then they're like, yeah, Eric used to hate it. He's like, what are you, an attorney now? I said, no, I'm fact checking because I don't want you to come back later and say, you know, what language was your mind thinking in that you got it wrong?
Well, there, and you know what? That's actually a red flag when their response. So, like, if Gladiator Guru is asking the question and repeating, so you just said, and when they come out real defensive. Now, Eric just did that at first, but he probably got okay with that because there's nothing.
He wasn't used to that. He wasn't
used to it, But when you get one that becomes real defensive, why are you doing that? And then they start to flip it.
Because it takes away the accountability.
Yeah, they flip it because they take back what they just said and I didn't say it that way, or right there's a red flag.
Yeah, that's a core value. The number 2 thing I got for you guys, he's not affectionate enough. Men kind of have different. That's why I talked about the bed thing, because for men, that's the act of having the sex in their mind is the affection, and that's the affection. And people say that's not right. That's not okay. Yeah, you talking to a Neanderthal, so that's what he's processing it. For you, it might be a holding of the hand, a kissing on the cheek, a soft touch on the lip, but for him, after the nasty, then he feels affectionate. Okay, so that's for him. Okay, I can't speak for all men, but
along those lines, a relationship red flag would be if they are overly affectionate when they're starting to like date you, when they're like overly bombarding you with affection, when they're like it's almost like to the point where it's like, oh my God, like but you're thinking, oh, this is great. He's so affectionate, blah, blah, blah. But it's too much, there's
always saying yes.
Correct.
No, right. Yeah. He's like, he's trying to just draw you in, you know what I'm saying? Like, the moth to the spider, yeah. But check that, the affectionate piece. Now, number 3. I got to give you this, is grooming. Okay. When you see a person change their grooming habits immediately or before they never brush their teeth. Now, every morning for the last 3 weeks, they brushing their teeth for no reason, right? Every other time they got dragon breath to you. But before they walk out the door, they brushing, they gargling, and they combing their hair, and they problem. Okay.
If all of a sudden they're grooming in areas that they didn't groom before, that was like a wild
jungle. He never manscape a day in his life. Okay.
Yes.
All of a sudden, there's an issue, okay? There's an issue. So I just want to look good.
Yeah.
Oh,
hell yeah.
So I'm telling you, so these are the red flags. We talked about the flags, so they up, okay? So now, if you are with number 4, if you are with somebody and you or them, and y'all won't say it to each other, but you ask yourself, if you don't see yourself having a future with that person, you know what I'm saying? Because we always have images and, if you don't see yourself having a future with that person, then there's an issue there, okay? Because you got to see in your mind, are you going to have a future? If you don't see no future, then really what are we doing? That's a red flag. That's a huge red flag right there. Because if I don't see that, I can look at that person and say, yeah, they cute. They're nice to hang out with, but I really don't see myself with them next year. Or I really don't see myself with them. So what are you doing? That's the big red flag. And you know what? They might be thinking the same thing about you. So that goes for some conversation. So that's a huge red flag. If you don't see that person in your future, in your mind, then that's a red flag. Number 5 I had, if you find out you don't trust each other. So automatically, as soon as the person walks out the door, as soon as they put their phone down, you're trying to get on that phone. You're trying to check every time they go online to see, how many other people are watching them, what's going on. If you're doing that every time that person walks out the door, then you don't really trust the person. So if you don't trust the person and they don't trust you, then why are you all really, either you need to talk this out or you all need to come to some understanding that's a huge red flag. If you automatically know, I don't trust that person, what are you doing at that point? What are you doing? You're quiet. What's wrong with you, Gladiator girl?
Well, because what you just said, listen, I think when that happens, is it the other person or is it your lack of self-trust that you think everybody's out to get you? Because there was a slump in my life, 2004 to 2006. I hated the person I was with. He disgusted me, but I stayed because I believed it was my payback from karma for hurting my husband, walking out on him and all that, right? So it was, again, there was a weakness in my armor, and I fully own it. And he was a narcissist, and I just hated him, but I didn't know or want to get out of the situation I was in. So it was him. And the thing is that I always caught him in something until I said, that's it. But he always said, you're always looking at something. If you keep looking, you're going to find something. Well, if there's nothing to find. But so my question is, the red flag, you can't trust him because something is different, because now he is manscaping. Now he is gargling.
Right.
Well, now he is using gel to slick his hair back or whatever. So that's going to add to me. See, so what do you think? Do you think it's both my lack of self-trust and the trust issues because of their behavior, or is it solely based on their behavior?
I think it's all the above. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think it's all the above. I think when we try to have like one answer to something as difficult as relationships, then we always messing up. You know what I'm saying? That's why it goes to this conversation. We could stay here 4 days and do this because, it's so complex, So to me, anytime we're trying to fix it or come to an understanding or even recognize a red flag, the first thing you need to always look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then people say that you shouldn't do that because now you're putting yourself into a quandary. Nah, I think people are not as weak as we give them. They're stronger than they're stronger than they think they are sometimes. Absolutely. So no, if you look at yourself and say, you know what, why don't trust this person? I don't trust this person because every time they walk out the door, am I on the phone? Am I talking to another woman every time she leaves? Am I doing that? That's why I'm watching her. I'm the one who's online looking for spy tech wear all the time. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm the one doing that, then is it her or is it me? I'm that one, right? But if I don't have no accountability for someone or for myself, what we said, when people try to commit sin, they hide, they blame, and they cover up. You know what I'm saying? So they don't even mess with that. So if I'm not dealing with me, it's so easy for me to project my nonsense on other people and then say, the reason why my life is messed up is because of them. I don't trust them because they're the untrustworthy person. But what about me? What about me? What about me? Yeah. So for me, that's a huge issue that I always say, and this is not just in the trust issue, in any part of that relationship, I have to look at me first. First thing. I got number 6 for you. There's a constant, frequent arguments. I think one thing about a relationship, there needs to be smiles. There needs to be something, in any relationship, me and your relationship, we'll get our tit for tat. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you was being quiet and let me speak, I was uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do with myself. You know what I'm saying? I can understand if the badass Buddha was there, but she wasn't there, and you was by yourself, and you was just drinking coffee and chilling. I said, man, something's wrong here. So, but I was waiting for you to say, mi gente. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't do it. So I said, shit, I must be on the road, or I must be really missing out. Right? Because you don't never give me like more than 2 minutes. So I had a whole 5 minutes of talking, and you didn't bother me. Something was wrong. Okay.
I think real conversations and raw conversations that need to be expressed for both sides is very important, because as a woman who works with women so that we can be today what we were born to be, you know, the strongest species to ever exist in this world, the breeders of life. And I come across so many people that only want to talk about the opposite. And me is feed your spirit, nurture your ego, love your body. That cultivates that self-esteem. So everything you were saying was something that, and I'm just taking it all in, Byron. This is great.
Right. So if there's no laughter into the relationship, and there's always strife, there's always a hard word, there's always something going on, that's a big red flag. So you could tell one thing we know, and we know from both of us having relationships, good and bad, is that it start wrong, it going end wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not gonna like fix itself. So if you're already at the beginning of your relationship, or even in the middle, wherever you're at, and it's continuous strife, something's going on. So either we need to figure out how we're going to fix this thing, or we need to kind of do something. And we'll talk about some remedies we can have for that. But if there's no laughter into the relationship, for me, that's a huge red flag that something's not right. So there should be laughter. So that's number 6. My number 7, if you're not attracted to them anymore. Once you come to a point, hey, badass Buddha, if you're not attracted to them anymore, I was scared that, I know they'd be snatching people, so I didn't see you. So it was like a taking episode. And after somebody was going to kill on the phone and said, we have badass Buddha and we're going to keep her. And I was going to say, I have particular skills. And if you do not bring her back, I will come. Anyway. So, you're not. Because we was missing you. If you're not attracted to the person anymore, right, there's an issue there. But a lot of times we don't know how to say we're not attracted to a person anymore. So we kind of give off signals that are kind of misleading or misgiving, but it's okay if you're not attracted to that person anymore. But I think that you need to tell. We're talking about the red flags, and we're on number 7. And one of number 7 was if you're not attracted to that person anymore. And what do you do with that? So what do you do? What do you do with that?
Why is that so wrong? You brought up something that I have been questioning for many years. For the saying, for every beginning, there's an end, and for every end, there's a beginning. When we fall in love with somebody, it's so easy to say, I love you. Mm-hmm. But the same way you woke up that morning feeling that rush of hearts popping up like they do on your screen, all up your middle section, giving you that, ooh. You can wake up one morning and look at that person and say, I don't want to do this anymore.
All up your middle section.
Or even hate them. You could love somebody one moment and then hate them. Like the same person that you were months earlier, years earlier going, oh, they're the best thing in my life, my soulmate. And then years later, you're like, I can't fucking stand this person. They breathe and they annoy the shit out of me.
Can I ask a question real quick, ladies? Do you rather be loved or liked?
I'd rather be.
I want both. What the hell? Why do I have to choose?
I don't care.
Because I don't like. I like sometimes like Gladiator Guru. Sometimes I love her, but
I
see where you're going with that. That's
mad at me.
I might not like her.
But, growing up, when we were being raised in Father Panic, my father always told my brothers specifically, because, they had to be like, what? He said, it's better to be respected than feared. Mm. And one of my brothers like, I'd rather be feared. And he's like, you know what? People can fear you and respect you. That's different. You walk down a different path. If they only fear you, they will eliminate you because they cannot breathe while they're around you.
Yeah, very true.
So whether being liked or loved, you know what? I think it all starts from within. I like myself. I love myself. If I walk somewhere and they're like, oh, they don't like you, that's not my business because that's not my issue. Why? Because I'm comfortable with myself.
But he's asking it based on like a relationship, though.
In a relationship, no, you know what? When I was married to Eric, because Eric was my fourth, right? I was married, and then I was married, and then I was in a 7-year narcissist relationship, and then there was Eric. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm not easy. I'm hot and cold, and sometimes I'm hot and cold at the same time. You don't know what the hell is around me. Right? Byron, let me tell you something.
I didn't say anything.
Throughout my husband's paralysis, Byron was always here. Always here. And I met Byron 6 months before I met my husband. And then him and Eric worked together for like over 10 years. So he was always here. He was always present, willing to help, annoy everything. So he knows because we've had all these conversations. But, you know, I told him, and there are going to be days where I'm going to love you, but I'm not going to like you because we're different. We come from different. Hell, we had to take like 6 months to understand each other's dialect. He's country here from Florida. I'm finna do this. And one day I said, what you said last night, were you being honest or were you blowing smoke up my ass? He was like offended. He didn't know what it meant. So it took us a while to understand each other's dialect. But in all of that, I was honest. I said, you know, there are days I'm going to love you. I'm not going to like you. And there are days you're going to say, she's okay, but I can't stand her fucking ass. I said, and that's okay. So I think, you know what, accepting that is okay. We're going to go with our moods all these ways. As long as the person honors and respects us in a way, in a relationship, they're going to know because they're going to go through it too.
Okay.
And if you acknowledge what you go through, then you got to be open to expect that someone else is going to have bad days. And they're not going to want to talk to you and they're not going to be nice to you because they're going through something, dear me. And I think that's what we got to learn about one another when we're in a relationship.
True. Oh, so eloquently said. Okay,
what was that, number 8? That was number 8?
Yeah, that was number 7. Number 8 will be can't say sorry. I always watch people who can't say sorry. My uncle will always tell me that women will never say sorry. I always tell him I beg to differ, but that's one of his stories. If you're around a person, male, female, whoever you do, even a family member, and you find out they can't say sorry, there's an issue there. Now, some people don't have a way of saying sorry, like verbally, but they do with their actions. And I can swallow some of that. But if they can't say sorry with their actions or their words, there's an issue there for me. Because how long do I need to eat your shit, in a sense, and be okay with it? You know, I mean, you know, the first time the guy gave the phone number out while you were sitting there, you know what I'm saying? You know, would he say sorry or not? Now, saying sorry and don't mean it, that's kind of frivolous too. You know what I'm saying? But my mother used to always tell me, when people are not even willing to trick you, there's an issue. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. When they even willing to trick you, there's really an issue there. You know what I'm saying? At least blow some smoke on my ass. Make me feel like, you know, something. You know what I'm saying? But also smoke on my ass. I'm cool.
Isn't that a red flag, technically? Smoke up the ass is a little red flag, I thought.
No, wait, goddamn it. Smoke screen me. I'm okay with it, okay?
But you're not going to, you just said it. You're really not good at seeing it. So,
right. That's what I'm saying. For me, it's good. You got it, Buddha. You got it.
Smoke screen is a red flag. Sorry.
But when the person can't even muster up a sorry, there's a lot of things going on behind that. So if you're dating with somebody and you are messing with somebody or you got family members and there's no sorry in them, then you really need to kind of evaluate that. That's not my number 8. What's your thoughts on that? On the can't say sorry people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happens? Too much too sometimes.
Huh?
What happens? Okay, let's go back to
no, what you gonna say? Say that again. Say Buddha. What you said?
I said sometimes, and if they overly say it sometimes because it's not
Oh,
genuine.
okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
Either
Okay.
way.
Right,
But go
right.
ahead, Gladiator Guru. What were you saying?
No, okay. So when they're deliberate with it, when they're like, I don't care if you see. I've known people. I've known people my age or a little older who said that their father would actually bring home call girls and have sex with them as with their mother laying in the bed, and the woman would just stay there. So that's why I was
close.
Women,
I was close to being that person.
when I approach women who are stuck in that mind, I'm not calm and easy. I speak to them truthfully, the way they need to hear it.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm not gonna walk around it because it's not that man's fault that he brought a woman to have sex in your bed. It's your fault for tolerating it the first time.
Yes, for allowing it. It's a boundary.
I think the woman has to take accountability. This man is an asshole. He's always been. It was my fault for not recognizing in the beginning. Yes. And then I fell under his spell.
Yes.
But it's time to bewitch that ass and wake up. So I always believe that it's up to us at some point in our lives to take accountability for where we're at. Not how we got there, because that's irrelevant right now, but how the hell we're getting out of it.
Can I say this about you ladies? You guys are funny. I listen to you all.
Us ladies are funny. We're not guys.
I'll be a guy because you know me, Byron.
You ladies.
Listen, I'd rather have a vagina over a penis any day. I'm sorry, those things are weak.
No, listen, and I'd rather you have a vagina.
I walked into that one. I'll give you that.
I'm 100% in agreement with you. But the fact that you guys are willing to not have a victim conversation. Every time I tune in with you guys, and I have to say this to give you guys your roses. If you hear other channels and other, people, women, ladies talk, it's like, you all no.
If you have to be,
wake up, strap up. You
have to be slapped in the face. Listen,
right.
This is why I love my friend here. This is why I love Gladiator Guru, because she's always been that way. She had moments where she's admitted that she kind of lost her way a little bit, but it came right back. I wasn't that person. And I slapped myself. I got slapped in the face because of a situation. I pulled myself out. But being friends with her, I am constantly shaken, slapped. It's like we have a good dichotomy, because it's like we there's some things where I get tough with her, which is hilarious, because and she'll say that she's like, what I'm saying would have never happened years ago, and I said, and me either. Like, so she brings it out in me, but I still have that tender side. And then she has that tough side, but she's in touch with her tender side, but that's what you need. I wish somebody pulled me up, grabbed me, shook me, whacked me in the face a couple times and say, wake the fuck up. Look at what is going on in front of you. This is not okay. I lost 20 years of that.
Wow.
Or more, really 30 years of letting my unhealthy boundaries and giving up my values because I didn't know who I was. That's my fault. That's my fault. And when you don't know who you are and you're not strong enough, those people will swoop in like fucking vultures. And they will come in, and you need somebody to pick you up and go, stop it. Stop it. Look. You're a good person. You don't deserve this. Get out. I will help you. And that's the thing. When you're toxic yourself, because that's what happens when you're in a toxic relationship, you're toxic yourself. Misery loves company. You will be around toxic people. I would have never been friends with Margie years ago. Never been friends with her because I would have been intimidated by her and I would have talked shit about her because I was intimidated by her. I would have saw the strong personality that she was, and I would have been like, that's not me, and I don't want her to know that's not me, so I'm going to stay away from her. Wow. But that's why she came into my life at the right fucking time, because I was ripe to be that way. And that's why we come this way, because we don't want somebody to waste 30 freaking years. She lost 7 years in a relationship, narcissistic relationship. 5 years, right? The 2 years, right? 5 years of it, right? For me, it was so much longer because it wasn't just relationships like significant others. It was family members. It was friends. And then to finally wake up at 46 and be like, okay, what the hell? I'm done with that. You like the story that I was playing in my head because of the bullshit that you all put in that I allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I get so passionate. That's why she's passionate about it, because we don't want people to do this. We want them to wake the fuck up and stop. Like, you have it within you to stop it. You just need some guidance because you're broken.
Right.
You're not going to be broken forever.
Right.
When I look at women,
and I'm dropping the mic.
That was hot. That was hot.
I look at women, I don't look at them as broken. I look at them as they're kind of shattered, where their light is covered with the darkness. So you said, had you met me sooner, what you would have felt about me. Now that happens a lot with me. I can't help it. Why? Because I walk in my truth. I love who the hell I am, whether I'm in sweats with the sideways ponytail on my head or decked out, because I know what I'm about, because I dug myself out of that hole. So I look at women as, and when those women feel that way about me, you know, I always have a joke in my head. I always say, I got to work a little hard on this one. I don't give up on them, because I said, you know, my light right now is disturbing their demons. So that means this is where I got to work. I'm never turned off, because I don't get intimidated by people. Either you like me and you accept me for who I am, or I know I got to take a detour, because I always got to know where I'm at, who I want to mess with and who I don't. And always be in observance for when that relationship has to come to a close, because I might be all over the place, but I always keep note of whose spirit dances with mine.
But that's because you've always known yourself, and the reason you and I wouldn't have been friends before is because you owned your truth and you walked it, and I didn't.
Yeah, that's
and when people don't own their truth, this is why when somebody just declares, like, if you know who you are and you're a good person, but you're bold, and people don't like you, that's because they don't really know you, and either they don't want to get to know you, or they don't want to get you know you because you clash with who they are inside.
Listen,
and
you know how I associate. Who's watched? I forgot. Waiting to Exhale.
Oh, the one when she burned the car up.
And Whitney Houston at New Year's walked into that restaurant, didn't know nobody. And she was like looking for something, and she sat down at that table, and all the females like, who's this? She better, whatever, like, who's, you know, like, they were threatened by her beauty and her confidence. And, you know, that was me. I used to always crash parties of people who didn't invite me, but invited my family, because I was that girl. And she sat there. She's like, talk all you want. You better hold on to your husbands. Because the confidence, not that she was going to do anything, but she didn't hear them, because all of them were thinking. She saw their energy.
Right. Well, and that's what, for me, I had to say that to you all, not to even get, because to me, this is still on topic of the red flags for me. Because when there's no confidence, accountability, and all this going on, it's very hard. You're blind. So you can't see these things. So when we talk about the person who can't say sorry, that would be my number 8. But I gotta hit you with my number 9, and that's being resistance to change. When a person's resistance to change, it could be you or them, but you really gotta be mindful. If you're not, why are you so resistant to change? Because every time that you're so resistant, is because you are unwilling to look at yourself and. Yourself. And it all starts with you. It's so easy to blame the other person. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to put it off on somebody, because then now you don't have to do that internal work for you. I always would tell people, when we used to deal with substance abuse and mental health issues, and they would say, I would tell them it's kind of together.
There you go. Yourself. You.
Yeah.
So whenever you write yourself, or like, It's always you. I forgot the R. Sorry. It's always you.
Oh, I thought you wanted it that way. I was like, oh,
now leave it like that. That was cool the way you did it. You know what I'm saying? That was cool like you did it. Now you let us know you was stupid.
As a spiritual coach, just because you brought that up, I'm not about what everybody does around you. I am about awakening that strength and courage in every woman I come across. I don't give a shit who's wronged you. You allowed it, so let's work on you so that you never have to meet those type of people again.
Miss Kelly just typed something. She says, "Good morning, ladies. There's a definite man here, so you need to retype that, Miss Kelly. Whoever you are, retype it. It's unacceptable what you just did, so you need to retype it. There's a definite man with gray hair, look like the Black Santa Claus. You need to redo it, refocus, and change your life. Okay." Okay, Miss Kelly.
Arlene, you need to acknowge Byron. So
yes,
specific.
Say wherever you're at, I'm coming to you. Okay, so fix it. Fix it. Fix it.
Leave my Arlene alone.
There's a red flag right there. Insecurity.
No. You don't know. That's gregarious confidence. Get it right.
Arlene.
Get right. Hold on. So we got number 9. That's resistant to change. And my number 10 is every time you say something, if the person takes it as an attack, you know what I'm saying? You know, you can't bring anything up to them. They got you on this eggshell watch. You know what I'm saying? And where did that come from? That I can't even like tell you how I'm feeling or anything that's going on. And it's like I'm in the prison like with you, but then you want me to be with you, but you want me to be like in prison too. But you don't want me. I'm smart, and I'm not. And then in your own confusion, you're placing that on me, and I'm wearing that jacket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm wearing that, and that goes for the male to the female, the female to the male, however this relationship's going, because people pick up bad shit. You know what I'm saying? Over time, and even a person who never even did it before found out when they did it, it worked, and said, and then now they're doing it, or doing it not even conscious that they're doing that. But so every time if the person's saying something or you trying to, what's that?
My lip balm.
Lip balm. I'm just advertising.
Go ahead. I like what you're saying.
Keep going. Hey, listen, we gotta live. We gotta.
You can't do that while men talking.
Go ahead. It's like right? And you're stuck at a
what is wrong with you? What are you doing?
Wait.
I could be that ice cream.
I'm gonna get the bigger one then. There you go. Woo! All together. Look at that.
Look at Annie said squirrel. That you can't mess with.
This just went down the tubes.
Listen, stay focused. I know. Henny says stay focused, and I just, you know what, Arlene, don't worry about it. He's just a joker. Don't. But listen, it's so true. We're gonna get out. I've been celibate. Let's get off the ice cream, lip balm, placing. Go back to what you were saying, Mr. Roquemore.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for having me. If every time I say something and I can't say anything, and the relationship is so intense, there's no laughter, and everything's so hard, and every time there's a conversation, it has to be like we're pulling teeth, and it's where's the enjoyment out of it? How do people expect this relationship to move on? Or it can go on, because we've seen people who've been married for 40, 50 years and can't stand each other. We've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Yeah, separate room. It's like they're marooned on the desert island. Myself, you know what I'm saying? And then so if we want more out of life, we have to be willing to kind of attack these things and say, what's going on. That's why I love the show, that we're willing to look at it. So those are kind of like my top 10 things, to look at. And to have on, that's mine. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody got their own, and then I could have did another 10. You know what I'm saying? But for this one, I really think that that's so important, from the grooming to everything else. These are some key indicator. I spelled my own name wrong. Let's look at it at the bottom. Roquemore. That's it.
See,
listen, it's that kind of morning.
Stupid.
It was that kind of morning.
Name.
It was.
You talk junk to her about spelling yourself
right.
wrong.
I just thought about that. You would bring that back up, wouldn't you?
Come on now.
Okay.
It's okay. Thank you
Listen,
for being so excited to be on the show.
Always. When we're having these problems, I would like to always give a remedy to things before we go. Is what you have spoke about earlier, Miss Buddha. Breaking. Give yourself a break. But while you're trying to decide if these red flags are real or not, give yourself a break from the whole thing. Kind of get yourself in order. Look for some clarity. So you're asking yourself, let me give me some clarity on this one. Ask yourself what's going on. What part are you playing or not playing? You're playing a part, but either way, good or bad, you're playing a part. So don't say it's all him, it's all me, it's not all you, and then all him. It's somewhere in the middle. Yes. And then get some emotional distancing with that. What I mean by don't put so much weight in what the other person says. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes we put too much weight on what the other person said. Yeah, and that doesn't have to be a lover. That could be anybody in our family who do that. I remember I did a show and I did a wonderful show, and then I came off stage and the crowd was going crazy, and then my cousin said that show was terrible. And I said, what do you mean? He said, it was terrible. It wasn't funny. It wasn't good. It was terrible. And I didn't do another show for like 5 years after that.
Where were you performing?
At the Improv.
You're doing comedy. You're doing stand-up.
Yeah. I didn't do another show for 5 years after that. And then one day he said, why you never did another show? I said, because you said I was terrible. He said, you know what? And I thought so. He said, I was so jealous when you did the show and everybody was screaming and yelling for you and everything. I was just upset. And then you asked me and I just said it. And I should have never did that. I was so wrong. I should have never did that.
Played small.
But he had to. See, I don't want anybody thinking that they failed themselves or that they were
right.
Recognized. Sometimes we need to drop in order to recognize and then grow. Right. Grow into ourselves. And it could take just that one time, or it could take 5 times, but it shouldn't take a whole lifetime. And I think that when reality hits you, and that's when you can gauge where your self-esteem is, where your self-trust is, and then you work to continue building it. We need to drop sometimes, because when we fall 7 times, and that 8th time, we're rising like the phoenix. We are rising into our truth and into our birthright. So never, but the key word is, and I've read many stories, and it's less, but I've read, like even Khalil Gibran, which is one of my favorites, said, fall 7 times and rise gracefully on the 8th. Because when you rise, you're rising into the you were born to be.
Yes.
You already fell 7 times. So you know what? You've seen failure at its best. Now, bitch, get up and let's work to live your legacy.
And we're waiting for you. I think that's the other problem. I think a lot of times when you fall, you think that you're going to get up and you're not going to recognize anything or anybody, and you're going to be all by yourself. Who the hell said you're going to be by yourself? Like we're waiting for you to pick yourself up, and we'll pick you up if you need your ass picked up.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Be that cheerleader. Go.
That's correct.
Go.
But did you see me little cheerleading
You know why? Because I was benched. Because I benched myself for many important seasons in my life. I benched myself. So you know what? I will be that cheerleader for you. I will be that coach. Like, somebody asked a question. You're not even in a relationship, but you're always, and I said, well, because coaches don't play. I've been in relationship. I lived when I'm going to be in my next relationship, it could be the biggest fuck up I engage in, or it can be my masterpiece.
It's going to be interesting. I tell you that.
That's exactly what I'm going to gain from it.
Right.
And if it is a messed up one, then guess what? That's because I needed to power up at my next level. I never look at it as, oh my God. No, I'm like, okay, God, another assignment. Let's do this.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so with that, thank you all for coming when you can both laugh at what triggers in your relationship, you are both learning so much. Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm so glad I was off this morning. This was a long overdue dose of Byron. Have a Jeffrey day, everyone. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Byron's been in New York, and when I was in Connecticut, we met up in Brooklyn, and we went to a bookstore, and then we had dinner on the side. It was you ever watch a New York movie in those tree-lined streets with?
Did you got your New York on? Did you? Yeah, you got it.
It's like, woo, shock city, horn blaring, assholes everywhere. Then that's what we did, and we walked through downtown Brooklyn, and it was phenomenal. And because we always try to stay in contact. Why? Because when you are thrown a lifeline from the divine, it's a bumpy road. We each have our own lives to live. But when we can unite again and say, hey, what's up? I'm tired. You got coffee? I'm coming over. Come over. And I could have my ponytail sideways and we just chilling. That's love at its best because it's genuine. So find yourself somebody like that. I know people be looking like, who that man coming so early in the morning? Say what you want. Create a story about me, but please let me read it.
We got a lot of stories.
Coming early in the morning is better than leaving early in the morning, don't you think? Right?
What?
Either way,
that's better than leaving early in the morning.
Something to talk about. That's it.
Listen, I'm gonna say thank you for having me. And you were saying about falling. I'm learning to start falling forward. So you fall forward. You can brace yourself a little bit better. You can see what's going on. You got to fall backwards, fall forward. You know what I'm saying? So, and that young lady, everybody, please never, if I'm chomping or doing my thing, don't take nothing at heart. This is just me just blowing some.
So apologize to Arlene.
Huh?
Apologize to me.
I apologize, Arlene. I can say I'm so sorry. Is she there?
I don't know.
Is she there? Yeah, come back.
She's one of our very what's that word without using age as a factor? She's a
senior. I'm a senior.
Shut your face. Go ahead. But
anyway, I just want to say I apologize, Arlene. Bring it back. Send this to her. Clip it and shoot it to her.
She's probably at.
And if she hears it, tell her I love you, Arlene, and I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't get Michelle jealous, though.
Michelle, we got our thing. We good. Y'all some starters. Y'all starters. Okay, but I love y'all though. Thank y'all for having me.
No, it was long overdue, and we were happy to have you, and we definitely want to have you on again, Byron. It's always just so much fun having you on, and you bring so much wisdom to the table, and that was what the comments were coming through was the wisdom, and so we're really honored to have you here. And
it's an honor to be with such wonderful, wonderful people. Thank you so much.
So today's Thursday. So Tuesday's show is Are You Happy? And Thursday's show is with Jonathan Puka Cruz, more conversations at the barbershop. So it's going to be, and you know how Jonathan is, it's going to be a really great conversation. So, and I won't be there for that one. It'll just be Gladiator Guru and Jonathan because I will be flying to Costa Rica. So anyway, yeah, we're excited. We'll see. We got it. We have so many things to pass and do before we go. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, so thank you so much for Byron. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you fans and tribe members, because without you, you sharing and spreading the love and get this information out to people, it's really important. And thank you for all the comments, because, we love the engagement. And Gladiator Guru, you got something to say to last?
Yes, I do. Before I even come out, my coffee launch will be looking towards the end of the month, but you can put in your orders and have you set up on top. My new logo should be out, so that's one announcement. 2, if anybody wants me to write you something for your webpage or something, or just a jingle, hit me up, because I am a wordsmith. And visit my webpage, because there are going to be some new products that I am creating. And let's just work together. Power of the Pussy is always in charge of being who you are. Stay true to who you are. If your best friend don't like you no more, if your sisters are embarrassed of you, you know what? Put on that red lipstick, put them sunglasses on, and sashay your ass into your life. It is your life. It is your journey. It is your legacy.
And nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you. So, with that. So thank you, everybody. And from have a great weekend. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, I tell you, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste and peace.